like if I was playing Fallout New Vegas for the
Right.
first time, or not even the first time, if I was playing it and someone was watching the game who has never played the game, never seen any gameplay on it, I feel like taking that away is like taking half of the fun
Yeah.
for a viewer.
Yeah. Oh, it is. You're taking the the fun of it. You are taking the fun of the game.
You're taking out half of what the game was meant to be.
You're taking part of the meat off the bone that you shouldn't have to. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, what is Fair Act versus the Millennial Copyright Act? What's the difference? Where's that boundary that says, okay, this should be part of it because you bought the game. You should be able to freely play the game as it is.
Exactly.
I
I
don't
feel
understand that.
I feel like there's a very thin line to walk when it comes to DMCA.
Oh hell, there is. Oh yeah,
And
there's.
if you even barely put a toe
Mm-hmm.
over that,
Yeah.
you're gonna get screwed.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it's fair.
I certainly don't think it's fair at all. They should be able to. You should be able to. I again, I get it. I get that they make the money. It's just like with anything. You don't work for free. You shouldn't work for free. Yeah, you should get
Exactly.
some kind of compensation, be it monetary, food, shelter, whatever it is. Okay. In this world of society, especially with music writing, it doesn't. It's not that difficult to write. I write music. I have some contracts, BMI contracts with some of my music. It protects me from copyrights. I get that. But then again, it's like, okay, well, there's comes to the point where if like a radio station plays my music, that radio station has to license the music from BMI or from me or for whatever it is. I think it would be BMI. BMI would say, okay, look, you owe Cactus this amount of money to
Mhm.
play his songs for either the week, the month, I think it's month or 6 month or a year. That in that time frame they could play my music and I would get a royalty for it. Just like with like Fallout, they've already paid for the fees for it or upfront costs of the licensing, so they don't have to worry about it. But why does it fall on my head or your head or any other consumer's head that we suffer from that? That we have to say, okay, look, we have to now get hit with a DMCA, and what is Twitch doing about it, or what is YouTube doing about it?
And where is it gonna go in the future?
Right, exactly. Like, okay, is it going to come to the point where they're going to just give up on it, or are they going to say, "Hey, look, this is we're a company that's been here for 10 years. We do this and do that and everything. We want to abide by the laws. So we want to give you the licensing for this. Don't come down on our heads and sit there and say, "Oh, look, I have to copyright strike this person or this team or this community and stuff like this." They shouldn't. They shouldn't have to. It should be
Yeah.
covered. And did they cover that for the soundtrack of Twitch? That's the thing. Is it already covers? But again, like I've said, I've seen people who have said on various websites that they have gotten strikes even though they're using the soundtrack of Twitch, which I don't know. I don't know if I believe it or not. Because knock on wood, I've played 8 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours of music from these soundtracks, and I've yet to, is it people complaining? Is it, like, oh, he's playing, Fiona Apple and he shouldn't be doing it. So they make a clip and then they send it up to Twitch.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, where's it go? Where's it go from there? Like, what are these people? Where's the drawing point? Where are we going to
That's
go from this? You know,
it's one of those things that I feel the higher ups really need to sit down and talk about
I agree.
and figure out if, you know, the only way you can play music is if it's your own music
Right.
or someone that you talk to creating that music and they actually physically give you permission
Mm-hmm.
in your chat. Like the videos that you've played, you've gotten permission from the people that made them
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
in your chat. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's about what it's going to come down to eventually.
And it's
Not
going,
being able to play music at all unless it's your own music.
and that's going to be a negative, and that's going to be hard for people who are not musicians. You know,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I could totally do it. I could write my own. I
Yeah.
have a plethora of music that I've written that I could sit here for hours and play. If I'm streaming, I could play 4 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours plus of music that's written
Oh
by
yeah.
me. But then what about like say,
Me.
Yeah, or you, Joe Schmo, or
I don't
you,
have any way of writing music at the moment.
yeah,
I
you're,
don't have an instrument. I don't have anything. I don't have a keyboard. I don't have a
mhm.
guitar. I don't have that stuff.
Right. So then it makes you as a disadvantage. And you think about how many musicians there are who are streamers versus who are not musicians. I think the ratio of non musicians is quite higher than it
Yeah.
is for musicians, streamers.
Mm-hmm.
So then you look at it like that. That's a disadvantage. So am I going to lose 70% of my viewers and my users for DMCAs versus the 30% who can actually make their own music? I think I would go for the higher. I think I would go for I would want the targeted audience up here more. I mean, these
Yeah.
guys they can protect themselves. They can write their own music, but these people are going to search for the musicians of Twitch or
Mm-hmm.
YouTube or a third party, and they're going to say, "Hey, look, can you write me some music? Can you write me an intro, an outro? Can you write this for me?" Those people, just like with like people making memes and emotes and stuff for people's chats and stuff. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. That's awesome. They can do it, but there's a price to it. Now, is it going to be
Yeah.
a premium price as more and more DMCA strikes hit? Can I sit there and say, okay, I'll write you some songs, but it's going to cost you. It's going to cost
Yeah.
you, and then I'll like mentally figure in my head how much it's going to cost, and
Exactly.
then give you an output. Or am I going to say a flat rate, or am I going to charge you just the way I feel? Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll charge you $30 for that song versus, I would charge you $20 for it.
Yeah.
So you got the cacti discount because I know
Yeah.
you versus
Mm-hmm.
Joe Schmo would be like, okay, well, I'm going to charge him or her $30. I
Or
mean,
twice
or
twice
twice
as
as
much.
much. Yeah, $40. Hell, there's the sky's the limit. Why not? Why stop it myself at that?
Mm-hmm.
But the weird thing is if you go to these websites that, like, if I, for example, if I wanted to sell my music right now, I went to a CD Baby or I went to a place, I could upload my music. I could upload it, but it's only like say if you wanted my music, you would have to pay would be like the licensing pretty much of it because
Mm-hmm.
you pay up front and then the soundtrack is yours. So it's
Yep.
basically like going to the store if it's even existent anymore. Are people even buying CDs anymore or anything? You could go to the store, FYE or whatever it is, buy the music track of your favorite artist
Mm-hmm.
and bring it home. So you initially paid for the licensing, plus you paid for the CD itself and the uploaded amount of up costs that they charge for it, and then turn around and bring it home. So I would charge you like they would charge at CD Baby like $1, which per track, which is horrific in a sense. So it's like, okay, I feel really shitty because I could manually sell my music for somebody for like 25 times higher
Mm-hmm.
than said if I went to a known company up on the digital markets and for $1. So basically it's you start low and you gain high. That's how it
Yep.
always is. 99 cents hamburgers. People will flood in there. But if you sell that for $1.99, not as many people are going to buy it. Because they're like, oh, 99 cents, it's a hell of a deal. The dollar menu
Mm-hmm.
versus a combo meal that's $7 $8 where I can make my own combos. So it's really weird. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, where is that tipping point? Where are we going to go with this? There's got to be somewhere in the middle we could say to these artists or these record label deals, these hierarchies of gods of music that, hey, look, okay, I understand. I got to pay this and that and everything, but I mean, why does it fall on us as the consumers? That's my boiling point, if you will.
I
You
mean,
know.
especially if you get a game, that's more expensive, like 20 to 60 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
You've paid for that game.
Oh, you
You've
really?
paid money for
Oh
that
yeah.
game.
Oh yeah.
You shouldn't be penalized because you paid for the game. You paid for everything in the game.
Right. Exactly. I paid for that. I paid the premium. I paid for the licensing of that said game. I bought it from the makers. They got their cut of the money. Because I
Mhm.
mean, seriously, if you print out a CD that has, or they're actually DVDs, if you think about it,
Yep.
the video games, the games themselves are actual DVDs because they hold so much more content. I mean, if you think about it, that game is like 70 gigs and a movie is like your traditional 150 gigs or whatever it is. So you
Mhm.
figure it's like a DVD, but you paid for that. You've bought the licensing for it. You bought that. You bought it. So why am I so penalized for? Why would I get hit with something? I mean,
That's like if you were to buy a DVD, come
mhm.
home, pop it in, and your neighbors hear you're watching a movie and they hear music from the movie and they call the cops and they're like, "Hey, they're listening to this song. Go do something about it."
Right. And it's like, well, crap. Like
It's like, can I not enjoy something that I paid for
it
to the full extent?
I agree. And it feels like you wouldn't get the full extent of it if you have to limit yourself.
Exactly.
You're limiting yourself. You're limiting your enjoyment of the game or the music itself in the game. Because there's a lot of games, if you notice, I don't really stream the excuse me, the soundtracks to it. Now I'm kind of scared too with like up and coming GTA 5 segments when I start playing those in the future.
Yes.
There's some music in there. They have a radio, but
Yeah.
the game has been downloaded. It was purchased. So again,
Yep.
I should be able to fully enjoy the game without worrying about a damn DMCA strike.
Yep.
Now, I mean, I could see that the rebuttal would probably be, well, then don't stream it. Well, how, as consumers at home, viewers like you, how are they going to enjoy the content? What if they don't have the game, but they're on the fence, like, should I buy this? The influencing part comes out of me and says, you would like this if I could play the full music and everything for you, but I can't,
I mean,
unfortunately.
as streamers, technically, every game we play, we
Hmm.
are influencers for
Exactly.
because we're giving our opinion on the game
Hmm.
and how we like it.
Right.
Two, we're using our platform to get more sales for the game.
Yes.
We're influencing others to spend their hard-earned money
Hmm.
on a game that I don't think it's fair to have to cut music out of.
Yeah, I agree. Because how?
Because like I'm not trying to step on any toes here, but for a fact the bigger streamers don't get hit with DMCA as much.
Hmm.
Yes, they do get hit with DMCA. I'm not saying they don't at all,
Right.
but they don't get hit with it as much as us smaller streamers.
The smaller community, yeah, the community channels and affiliates, it seems to me that you are you're like the rug outside. You're kind of like brushing your shoes off and
For
going
the
inside
welcome
the
mat.
house. Yeah, you're the welcome mat. They welcome you in, but you're still stepped on. But as is the partnered streamers, they get more leniency, they get more
They're they're
favoritism.
the ones throwing a house party.
Yes, they're the ones who are doing the same exact thing we are, but either they have paid people to watch them, they've paid third party websites to make fake people watch them, but yet they still can sit here and say, okay, look, I bring X amount of thousands of dollars to this platform a month. you could scratch my back and just kind of close your eyes as I play this beautiful music,
Yeah,
from
just
Metallica. Just,
there's earplugs for a reason.
yeah, just go ahead and, winky wink. I'll slip you, a few
An
gift,
extra 20.
yeah, 20 gift subs or $20 into your PayPal accounts.
Yeah,
I find that very unfair. There should be a medium where it's like, okay, it's equal for you, it's equal for you, it's equal for you. It should be the same all the
for
way
everyone.
around.
Yeah,
We shouldn't have to like literally walk on eggshells around this topic when it comes to music. We shouldn't have to. I mean, you've paid for the music. But why? I mean, where's this fair act? This, I mean, it makes no sense.
exactly.
I should be able to play with anything I want. And I'm not saying,
Within reason.
I mean, in a game itself. I mean,
Yeah.
if I bought the game, I should play. It should be in details. But like you mentioned, I've seen big streamers play games or just in general music. What about the radio stations that are on Twitch? Think about that for a split second. I've seen under countless times where there are radio station type 24/7 music played, and then you have, of course, like some of the ones doing, you know, uh, cartoons,
Yeah.
like 24/7. What the hell is it? The Simpsons, or Family Guy. Like, okay, well, yeah, The Simpsons. Come on, I mean, everybody
That's
knows the
a
theme for
big
that.
name.
That's a big, big theme. Yeah, I mean, they've been on for like 35 years or some shit. I mean, but you're playing the music from it, or I've seen people playing the music from like Cheers, or they're doing. I mean, how are they not getting striked? How are they? Maybe they are. We just don't see it. Maybe they just don't give a freaking flying pig.
Yeah. I mean, we also don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
We don't. To be fair, we do not. We are just venting from what we see, and we feel that is unfair. There could be there could be people right now getting hammered right and left. I mean, if you look on Twitter, a Twitch or a Twitter name I won't go into, but you can literally see who is banned right and left. You could these partners are constantly getting banned. Now, is it from DMCA strikes? Yeah, it looked like some of them were. You know, are they more favoring some of those? Okay, so are they now? Here's a point: are they falling more for the genders of these said partners? Like, is the male side of the partners getting hit more so than the ladies? I don't know.
Good point too.
I'm
Because
not trying to
I
sound
have
sexist, but
no. You you're right. The streaming platform, and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. The streaming platform favors women more than men.
tenfold.
And the thing is that's not just with the streaming platform. That's with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Things in everyday life.
Oh
Men
yeah,
are less favored than women.
yeah.
And I honestly I don't think it should be like that. I think, it should be equal. It shouldn't be, oh, you've got tatas, you're better than Joe Schmo.
I have them too, but they just not quite developed like a lady. But that's a good point. I mean, think about, you go to your favorite restaurant. Think about your restaurant right now in your head. Okay. As soon as you walk in, who greets you? Is it a lady or is it a man? Is it a person of your same gender or not? Usually,
9 times out of 10 it is a woman.
yeah. Who's at the cashier? The woman.
Hmm.
You know what I was told one
Who's
time?
out working the floor most of the time?
Yeah,
The women.
the women. And
Yes,
the
you'll
men
see.
are in the back cooking, and they are the ones doing dishwashing and all this tripe. It should
I
be
mean,
equal.
yes, you'll see women in the
Oh
kitchen.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You'll see men on the floor, but 9 times out of
Absolutely.
10, you will see mostly women out there working the floor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, you will see men in the back doing the cooking, or 9 times out of 10, you'll see a man in the manager position.
Yes. Yes.
Even if a female has been there longer and is
Hmm.
more well prepared.
Exactly.
So it's either women are favored more or they're not put where they're supposed to be.
Look, for me personally, if I owned a restaurant, if I owned a place, I don't give a damn who gets it. I don't care if you're ET. I don't care if you look like a mannequin. I don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow, orange. If you fit the bill, if you have the knowledge, the mindset that fits the position, I'm all for it. You
Amen.
can have it. I shouldn't have to discriminate against it. But why does this particular site discriminate on things like that? Or it seems anyways. Why with DMCAs and stuff like, even I guess even YouTube, or I guess it kind of goes for anything, but a lot of people still the pot still stirs about the gap between people who are favoritized versus the ones who aren't, and get those DMCA strikes and stuff. I don't know if some of the big streamers that were recently banned, or I should say had the weekend off. I don't watch them, so I don't know
I
if
don't
they
either.
I don't know if they play music in the background or if they do anything like that. But I'm kind of curious if they do, if they play copyright free music, or are they allowed to play whatever the hell they feel like it. You want to play that Beatles song? Go for it. Oh, you want to play the Foo Fighters? By all means.
You want
But
to play Metallica? We're right there
sure.
with you.
Go enter Salmon, exit light. Of course. We'll go right there. Hey, it smells like Teen Spirit. You want to do some Nirvana? Sure. Go right ahead. Zombie, of course. Do the Cranberries. Come on in. And it just, to me, that's just
It's definitely not like, from the outside looking in, it's definitely not like a fair like
right.
platform.
Right.
It's definitely got its ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
It's got its behind the scenes. Like
Mm-hmm.
any other business, any other organization, it's got its behind the scenes that they're doing what they have to do to keep it up and running. And then there's outside looking in.
Right.
We
Exactly.
see we see just a small fraction of what's going on.
We see that small percent. Yes, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There could be things cooking behind the scenes that we don't know. They're adding a dash of salt or pepper to this channel. We don't know.
Mhm.
But it's not my concern. My concern, I mean, if they're taking part and doing things that they should be doing, they're stepping on everybody's toes, regardless if you do it versus a huge partner does it versus what about the celebrities that come onto these streams? I mean, do
Yeah,
they, I mean, of course, if the digital artist is Snoop Dogg or BMX or whatever it is, some big celebrity we all can know plays their music, yeah, okay, I could see that. What are they gonna do? Copyright themselves? I mean, they're gonna DMC themselves? Like, wait a minute, mofos, I wrote that song. But
exactly. If one of the, say, Metallica live streamed their
mhm,
songs and they get a DMCA strike, I'm pretty sure they could sue Twitch
I
because
mean,
they own the song. They own the copyrights to that song.
then it comes down to who has the bigger wallet. Think about that
Yeah.
one too. Is that
Yep.
part of the reasons why, like, okay, some of these streams who play the music that are immune to DMCAs because they're like, look, like you said earlier, I'll slip you that $20 bill. I'll slip you a few thousand viewers so that way you can get your subs for the month. You know, I'll
Shoot,
pay you this, or
I wish Twitch would do that for me.
I will help you. I will help your brother get bigger on the
Mm.
site. So scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But in reality, is that really fair to us? I mean, I don't have that kind of power.
Nope.
I don't have that kind of finance where I could sit there and, because you see all this shit all the time too. Do they do it by the algorithm of how many people are in your channel? Like right now, like how many people, how many eyes are on it? So say for example, a community channel, which is under affiliate. So you have community channel, which are starters. I have great friends who are just starting out who are not affiliated yet. And then there's the partners. So it's a 3-story building. The basement community or first floor, second floor would be the affiliates, and third would be the loft would be the freaking the mansion Playboy would be the partners. So as a community streamer who only gets maybe 1 to 4 viewers concurrent for X amount of time, what if they sat there and just started busting out all this music that was could be potential DMCA'd? Say they wanted to play a whole hit list of their favorite songs that are on their computer right now. It could be anything from any song you can think, imagine in your head, from Bach to Billy Joel to Queen to Nirvana to whatever. Now, they play that for a certain amount of time. You wait a few days just so the algorithm kind of reads it and hits it. Are they going to get hit with it? Now, are they going to get hit with a DMCA? Now, say a affiliate plays said same playlist, but has maybe 5 to 20 concurrent viewers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the audience is broadened. So that means
Yep.
more eyeballs are now watching your channel. Are they then susceptible to being DMCA'd because of the more viewership, the more eyes, the potential of more things? So does the algorithm do it where it says, okay, you have X amount of people that are playing or watching your show or watching the channel, and you have those people that can say, hey, look, I'm going to report this person right now because they're doing this music from, whatever, Stone Temple Pilots or whatever the case.
Great band.
Right, exactly. But see, that's what it is. It's like, okay, well, where is the boundary? You have to have so many viewers listening and watching your show, or do you have, then, so in other words, will the community channel who's not really seen and not know of, are they more susceptible to being hit for DMCA, or is it the affiliates? Because the partners seem like they're pretty much immortal to a degree. Not all of them, but some seem like they just skirt away with pure more stuff than, say, a normal other partner can do. So I think it might fall to that. What do you think? Do you think it's just the eyes that are in the channel, the viewers?
That's a good possibility. But also, I think, if the smaller streamers that only get like 1 to 10 viewers,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're most susceptible because they haven't been on Twitch as long as others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then again, I also think when you have those 15, 20, 25 and higher amount of viewers, you're more of a disadvantage of being reported
Right.
for it. So I don't know if it's an algorithm or not, but I know as an affiliate or a partner, you're more susceptible to being reported for DMCA.
If you go into
Whereas the small streamers that only get like 1 to 10 viewers a time are not as susceptible. If that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And if you look at a partner, if you go into a partner channel, most likely you'll see where it says streamer, maybe VIP section, moderators, but then it also will say Twitch staff, or it will say staff. And how you see staff is they have a little wrench symbol. You know how like VIPs have the diamond, or subbers have the emote, or the emoticon for the channel itself, or whatever.
The mods have the little swords.
They have the swords, but Twitch staff has the wrench. Okay. So if you ever hear somebody say something about, I had a wrench in my channel today, they're talking about Twitch staff. So maybe, just maybe, because if you go into those streams, you'll find they'd like watching the content, I guess is what they
Yeah.
say. I would love for them to show up in my channel. It'd be kind of fun, actually. I think I've had it
Right?
one time where I had one and it freaked me to hell out because I thought I did something wrong. But
Yeah.
in reality, they were just watching my show. But that was years ago. And not one, to my knowledge, has ever stepped foot into my stream since. But it's like, okay, so maybe them being in there, the streamer is more cautious to play music that's copyrighted
Yeah.
because they'll get an evil message and say, okay, look, stop playing that effing music right now, or we will do this to you. Or do they
Mhm.
even give them a warning? I mean, if I was friends with Joe Schmo, who's like one of the top people watching my stream, and he works for this company, I would, I'd be like, okay, look, I'm trying to be a friend here. Don't, don't do this. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Enough people report
Yeah.
it. It's going to go to my boss and it's going to make me look stupid because I'm watching you. So stop it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
is that a possibility? Right? It could
It
be.
is a possibility.
It could be. I mean, I feel that it is. I feel that there's favoritism when it comes to certain things. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to disrespect this stream, their website and stuff. I love being here. I love doing my stuff. I love hanging out. I've met some amazing people through this, and I've hang out with amazing people. But is it really double-sided like a lot of people are saying? That's what we're trying to get. We're trying to figure out what makes it DMCA versus the Fair Act, where people can actually use the music.
Mhm.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like I have to be extra cautious
Mm-hmm.
because I am a smaller streamer.
Right.
I feel like just one wrong move, if a song pops up in a game
Mm-hmm.
and I don't realize it at first, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to, mute the stream, mute the stuff, and
Right.
do all that, then, I could get that hit,
Oh
or
yeah.
I could potentially be banned.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that is not at all what I would that's not at all what I want.
No. And then once that's gone, it's gone. I mean,
Exactly.
you could potentially get just a slap on the wrist and say, okay, look, we'll just give it 24 hours. You made a
This is your first
you
warning.
made a boo boo. Yeah, you've never had any problems in the X amount of time. We never knew who you were,
Mhm.
which is about basically how it is. Like, oh,
Exactly.
who are you? Oh, okay, I know who you are.
You're doing something wrong. That's the only reason we know your
Right.
name.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing something wrong. So now we kind of know who you are and we're going to watch you from here on. But
Mhm.
see, the problem is Twitch it is so saturated with people.
Mhm.
It is literally saturated to the point where it's like it's like a huge sponge, just wring it out.
Yep.
And because people have said, okay, well, I could watch my big streamer do it, I can do it too, which is influencing, which is okay. I get that. That's cool. I mean, if you want to be like your hero, so be it. That's cool. That's great. You
Yeah.
know, I'd love to shake hands with Sir Paul McCartney, or Billy Joel, Sir Billy Joel, but that's, or Brian May from Queen. I would probably flop on the fourth floor faint. But I could get that, but it's so saturated. It's so saturated now. And do they really have time to individually go around and go, okay, well, this did that, this did that? They don't have the staff for it. They don't have the
Mm-mm.
staff for that. I know they don't. They
That's what makes
can't.
me think it is an algorithm.
It has to be, and that's my point. It has to be some kind of a genetically made AI that is either set,
Scanning files upon files all at the same time.
and it can do it too. I mean that saves you labor. Number one, if I was a company, I would kind of look into that. But then what
I
about the
mean,
ones that are just flagged like, oh, should I do this or shouldn't I do it? Then they should have a human listen back to it
mhm.
just to see just those
Kind of like on
snippets.
YouTube.
Right. Right. And just see, okay, okay, we'll green light this one. It's okay. We'll just slip it
Mhm.
across. But there's so many different things, though. I mean, there's so many. I don't know how many millions of viewers or streamers there are now.
A lot. There's quite a bit of people
It's
that
very
is.
difficult to get yourself planted and get a community. It
Mhm.
is. And just like with the copyrights and stuff like this, it seems like they favor more on the front pages for the partners versus the affiliates.
Yeah.
You never see them. You never see affiliates on there. You always see the purple check mark, but it's just me.
It's just one of those things that we have to be very careful of.
You do. And you made the point. You have to walk on eggshells. You do. You have
You
to
have
cover
to.
your tracks because you are, quote, responsible for all the material that you is on your channel. You
Mhm.
are responsible for it. And that's why and a lot of people have ribbed me and sat there and said, well, you're too tough on people, or you're a prick. Well, I am a cacti, but you're too stern with people, or I don't like the way you do this or do that on your channel and stuff like that. I mean,
You
people.
can't you can't be tender-hearted
I-
24/7.
I'm not a yes ma'am's yes sir person. I'm not a yes man. Okay. I run it because I know how it should be ran. I've been doing it
Mhm.
for 5 years. Okay. I'm not changing myself, nor am I changing the way my channel runs just to appease somebody's feelings. And I
Exactly.
shouldn't have to. If I do that, then the card deck, the card house will start falling in, and then I lose control of the channel, or I lose control of it.
Exactly. You shouldn't have to change who you are
Right.
to get more viewers. If people like you, then
They'll
they're welcome to join in. If
right.
they don't, they're welcome to go find someone else to watch.
If you're too abrasive for them, there's hundreds and thousands of different channels that they can flip to. I,
Especially since the pandemic. A
yeah,
lot more people have started streaming since the pandemic.
that is true too. That is a very good topic for another point, another week. There is a lot of people now who have decided to go digitally because people are stay at homes now. People don't want to go back to their physical world or physical brick and mortars. They want to stay home. They can do more things with their family. They can do more things, save gas. It leaves a less of a carbon footprint
Mhm.
by driving, the mileage, the wear and tear of your vehicle. It's to me, it's all around, a plus plus. Just like school. I think schools they shouldn't exist brick and mortar wise. I think it should more or less be digital to a degree. Certain restrictions, but I think more and more that they should have. It's 2021. It's
The digital
we're
age.
in the digital age now. You had the industrial age. You had the copper. You had all this stuff. Now they should go with the flow.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but as a mom,
Mhm.
I think the brick and mortar schools are more for a break from everyday hecticness.
Right. Certain conditions I
And
could see, but
and I mean, when the pandemic hit, everything went digital for a
mhm,
very long time.
mhm.
And I've had friends that had kids that were school age and in school before the pandemic hit. And they were just on the edge of losing it because they didn't know, one, they aren't certified teachers. Two, they didn't understand half of the stuff their children are being taught because everything has changed from the time we were in school to what there is now.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah.
And I know quite a few people who were on the verge of a mental breakdown because of the virtual learning. Because we love our kids. That's not the issue. The issue is when things change
Mhm.
and schedules change and like the environment changes, that puts a toll on the children more than it does the parents. Because kids need that structure and they need that routine.
Right.
And when that's all switched and taken away and put into something completely, totally different, it messes with how, like, Zoe, for instance, with her being autistic, if she was in school during that pandemic, I already know that we would have had such severe problems going from physical school to virtual learning because she needs that structure and she needs that routine.
See, I could understand that, you know, completely when it comes to situations like that. But if the more I could see it now, like what if like people who like, and we're running out of time here for the hour,
Yeah.
but just a real quick thing is like what about digital or virtual like high school or something like
I
that?
mean, it's definitely a conversation we're going to have to come back to for sure
Yeah.
because I have personal experience with the virtual school from my own school
Right.
between middle school, high school, and all of that.
Okay.
But we'll have to pick that up again because that's a good topic to talk about as well.
It is. It is. It's really good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys next week. Take care. Have a fine afternoon.